I struggled with addiction and stupidity and different things, but it was just a perfect storm that kind of brought me to a tipping point, right? And then I was like, "Crap, what do I do?" And then I was in free fall by then.
When I became homeless was when my husband and I split up. I didn't have any money. I had just lost my mother. A year later, I lost my father. I had gone into a bad depression. And so I ended up on the streets because it was easier.
It's amazing how you end up here. You think you could never end up here in your whole life, but yet here I am.
People who aren't homeless would just understand that we're not trying to cause harm. We're just trying to survive.
Homelessness. This battle is not confined to a single city or country. It's a shared experience that individuals face all around the world. It's a reminder that homelessness knows no boundaries and the need for compassion and support is universal. Hello, my name is Karila Castillo and I'm a student in Alvin High School. I'm also part of my local community college enrolled in dual credit classes, aiming for my associate's degree. If we rewind to the beginning of English 1302, I got introduced to this passion project presentation assignment. As part of the project, I was tasked to pick a big problem that's happening all over the world and research it. Based on my findings, I then had to explore potential solutions to address that problem. After that, I had to do a passion project regarding the problem. When I heard about this semester-long ordeal, my mind instantly went to those who unfortunately don't have a place to call home. It's something we often take for granted. I've always been intrigued by this topic, but I'd never really had the chance to fully dig deep into it and lend a helping hand to those on the streets. Since I had my problem, homelessness, I now had to form a solution that related to it and do my passion project. This video is my passion project presentation, my chance to share my message, inspire others about my topic, and highlight the action that I have taken for my passion. Homelessness is not a new issue, but it is one that often doesn't receive a lot of attention. The number of Americans living without homes in shelters or in streets continue to rise at an alarming rate. It's really heartbreaking to see how much homelessness has grown since 2017. As reported by the National Alliance to End Homelessness, the numbers have skyrocketed, with a 6% increase overall, and in 2022, it reached a record high, with over 421,000 people without homes. Right now, you might be asking yourself, how millions of people all over the world become homeless? Well, people can end up being homeless for all kinds of reasons. But Nan Roman, the CEO of the National Alliance to End Homelessness, details that one of the main reasons why people go homeless is largely due to the lack of affordable housing and housing getting more expensive. She also mentions that around a third of the homeless population lacks shelter, as the existing homelessness system cannot accommodate to everyone. In addition, about 39% of those experiencing homelessness do not have access to a shelter bed, forcing them to live on the streets or in makeshift encampments, vehicles, or other unsustainable places. When it comes to individuals experiencing homelessness, one of the major challenges they face is accessing food. It's not an easy task for them. The availability and sources of food can vary greatly depending on their specific town or city, local regulations, and the range of services provided to support those without homes. One simple yet impactful way to make a difference is by donating leftovers. By sharing your excess food, we can provide nourishment and hope to those in need. Not only does this act of kindness benefit individuals, but it also contributes to reducing food waste and building a more sustainable society. Instead of letting those extra meals go to waste, we can make a difference. It's a wonderful way for families to contribute to the well-being and dignity of individuals experiencing homelessness. By choosing to give our leftovers to the homeless instead of throwing them away, we not only show compassion, but also create an opportunity to make a positive difference in someone's life. It's a simple act that can go a long way in helping those who are facing challenging circumstances. I understand that some people may have concerns about donating to the homeless because of potential health risks. However, there is a solution that addresses these concerns and ensures that everyone can donate safely. One way to reduce health risks is by partnering with local organizations like Move for Hunger, a nonprofit organization that mobilizes transportation networks to deliver surplus food to communities in need, or local shelters that have protocols in place to handle food donations properly. These organizations can ensure that the donated food is safe, properly stored, and distributed to those in need. By working together with trusted organizations, anyone can make a positive impact and help reduce food insecurity among the homeless population. Like Mother Teresa once said, "It's not about how much we give, but how much love we put into giving." This quote reminds us that giving is not just about the physical act, but also about the intention and care we put into it. It can apply to giving away leftovers as well, as it's a way to show kindness and compassion towards others. Now, my actual passion project, I had to find a passion. Deep Stash, a platform where you can easily learn and grow by reading and collecting insights from various sources, defines a passion as an intense enthusiasm and emotion that individuals experience towards someone or something. In other words, it's an inner spark that drives us to dedicate time, energy, and commitment to what we love and are passionate about. I wasn't really sure what I was passionate about, so I started to research different types of hobbies, and one immediately caught my attention: cooking. Since I was little, I've been amazed by my mother's cooking, so now having the opportunity to do that for a good cause is absolutely thrilling. I know I can't get a home or a meal for everyone, but I can help by at least making 50 bellies happy. I knew I wanted to provide them with food that not only satisfies their hunger, but also brings them comfort and joy. So I began to do my research and looked up easy meals to give out to the homeless. I was overwhelmed by all the different options I had. During Thanksgiving last year, me and my friends made a Friendsgiving dinner. We all took something, and at the end of the day, we had a bunch of leftovers. My friend's mom then had the awesome idea to take them to our local church that gives out to the homeless, or just families that don't have enough to make a meal. That really inspired me, so I went out and asked more questions about this church. These helpful volunteers showed me around and explained how they receive many leftovers during any time of the day, and how people can just come by and get whatever they need. Normally come by.
Quite a bit, yeah.
Now, having an idea of how many families go and how much space they have, I started to make my food. So, as I was going to the grocery stores, I would look at the affordable prices and would buy the ingredients little by little. Summer is right around the corner, and that also means the heat is peaking out. I wanted to give a refreshing, healthy dessert that would work out if they didn't have a fridge to store it in, and if it melted, it would become a drink. In Spanish, we call these bolis. I did 2 different flavors, watermelon and pineapple, so they had the choice to pick which one they preferred. I also named them because at the shelter, they had told me how they prefer for the donations to have the date they were prepared and what flavor it was. The following weekend, I woke up bright and early and did my tortas, which is like a Mexican breakfast sandwich. This easy meal was made with less than $15, since the eggs were from our chickens and my parents like to make their own chorizo from scratch. That just shows how you don't have to spend that much money to make someone's day. First, I started by cooking up my eggs and chorizo together, then smashed up my beans. I then took out the inside of the bread so there would be more space for the food. When that was done, I started to pack everything up. Just so the tortas would be nice and warm, I put them on the stove. When I had everything ready, we then went out to the streets of Houston, specifically near 45 North and the streets of Cross Timbers and Fulton, with my dad as my helper. On our way over there, we passed by the Houston Food Bank, which has a sign outside saying, "End Hunger." I felt like that was a good sign and that everything was going to go out smoothly with this project. It was really heartbreaking that there were multiple people in the streets and seeing them all hungry and waiting for a source of food. We were able to give everything and had nothing left. It made my heart happy knowing that all these people were going to enjoy the food, and someone even asked for an extra for his girlfriend who was on the other side of the street. This shows that even though they are out in the streets, they still care for each other and that people have a wrong image of them.
Thank you, young man.
Thank you.
A few days passed and I started to make the other meal that I was going to take to the Grace Episcopal Church. I again was going to my nearest grocery stores and looked for the most affordable products. I used 6 pounds of chicken breasts, 2 pounds of rice, 3 peppers, 2 onions, 1 pound of beans, and Goja seasoning. The total came out to less than $20. When the chicken was ready, I then added all the peppers and began with the beans. At the end, when it was all finished, it smelled so good that we had to try it. My family, surprisingly, approved of my meal. That same day, I stored the food in styrofoam lid containers. As the volunteer said, I then had to add the date that my food was made so they would have an idea of how long it would last being stored in the fridge. The next day, my mom and I were lucky enough that when we got to the church, the community missionary was there. He thanked us for doing this, and he even gave us more food so we can later take and continue to do this. He even explained to us that the following day was going to be packed, and most likely our food was going to be eaten, because they were going to offer portable showers for those who are in need. Outside of the office is the little section that they make it easy as a 1-2-3, where you can just drive by and drop off anything you have. They even provide a microwave for the meals that need to be warmed up. Seeing all of the food that they had in the refrigerators truly inspired me, and I hope it inspires you too. We cannot keep overlooking our way out of the homelessness. Just pushing people to a different city doesn't solve the problem. Many people are quick to assume homeless people are all on drugs, but the majority of the people on the street do not have a substance use disorder. Some who do are really honest about it.
My problem is I'm addicted to heroin, so that's basically why I can't get off the street.
Throughout my passion project, I aim to shine a light on this silent struggle and inspire others to take action. Together, we can break down the barriers that separate us and create a world where everyone has a place to call home. So let's join hands, let's spread kindness, and let's make a difference in the lives of those who need it the most. Together, we can transform empty streets into thriving communities where everyone feels seen, heard, and valued. Everyone should honestly think about donating. If you don't think you'll be able to go out and make your own meals, you can even go out and volunteer at your nearest food bank or church that helps people in need. That will mean way more than you can think of. I wish I had enough money like those rich influencers to feed hundreds of people, but like Mother Teresa once said, if you can't feed 100 people, then just feed one.